Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Pink Game James with my co-host Craig So Poetic, and you're now tuned in to the Vibez Entertainment Podcast. Our other co-host McFly, he said he might be in today or he might not, but just in case, shout out to McFly. You know what I mean? And also, I want to give one more shout out. Shout out to my little. Shout out to my little. I'm sorry, I can't talk today, but shout out to my brother. He has just made 3 years married to my sister-in-law. So shout out to Rod, shout out to Izzy. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for tuning in. And thank you to everyone who's been participating in the poem challenges that we have each and every weekend from Friday to Sunday, where we take a random word and we make poems out of them. So shout out to everybody that's been doing that. Continue to follow us on the social media pages, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, so we have another Behind the Pen interviews. And this interview, this is going to be a good one. You know, from our hometown, Chicago, Illinois. He's part of a writing group called Vibez. Shout out to Vibez. You know what I mean? He's a poet, MC, producer, the jack of all trades. So, without further ado, y'all please give it up for Vinny El Negro. Vinny, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Man, that the way you brought me in made me sound impressive or something, you know?
Oh, shoot, man. You already know what it is, man.
Man, I'm just out here having fun with hobbies, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
We appreciate you coming in on this Behind the Pen interview, man. You know, glad to have you, man. We know what you do, man, but at the same time, you know, sometimes you gotta be praised, man. When you got people that want to give you praise and give you some accolades, some credit, best thing you can do is just take it.
Got to give Nick flowers while they're here.
Hey, I just do that then.
No problem, bro.
But what Terry Crews say? Don't fight it, just let it happen.
Right. Right. No, I mean, but before we start, just tell us like how you been, bro. How you been?
I've been cool, man. You know, it's funny enough to just me getting back to writing has made me even better. Like,
okay,
I didn't realize the level of therapy it was until I really got back into it. Like, it really balances my mind out. But I didn't realize that until I got back into it. Like, at first, you know, when I had just kind of put the pen down, I didn't realize that writing had emptied a lot of my thoughts out. So then I just was stuck with a whole bunch of thoughts in my head. I hadn't known until I started doing it. But since I've been doing it again within the last 3-4 years, it's been very therapeutic for me. So, yeah, I'm doing really good, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. And like, and definitely, bro, like writing is definitely a form of therapy, bro. I mean, and it's like you don't really know, you don't really know what you got bottled up inside until you start, you know, when you get that pen and pad and you just start like writing. You know what I mean? Like next thing you know, you got half a book of material written down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. I mean, but let's get into this podcast, man. Let's get into this interview. And for the fans, excuse me if you hear the fan on. You know what I mean, it's hot in Cali right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, bear with me. But first question.
It's hot over here too. It's hot everywhere, man.
Hey, true. That's
There's levels to that because man, it's been hitting over 120 up in out here in Phoenix. It's like,
what's the
stupid hot.
Like, man? Like, what's the Arizona heat like?
So it's like it's so hot. Like you don't even have to say it anymore. Like it's just
normal.
You don't even have to say what the degrees are. It's just so hot. People ask you like, "What's the temperature out there?" And it's just hot. You can't lean on anything. Like you can cook breakfast outside.
Well,
like eggs will boil off the street. It's like it's so hot. The visuals are wavy, man. Like it's just heat. It's this. You got to look through this. You know, like It's just hot, man.
Not for you, bro. I ain't come
But I
myself
did
on.
hear that they have a law or something like that, or they have it where it's illegal for you to leave your dogs and stuff like that inside the cars, like when the weather is extremely hot.
Yep, it's illegal, and people will demolish your car if they see an animal in it. They'll tear your car up. Like that's just kind of like
you ever seen that
like
happen?
dog pet justice.
You ever seen that happen at all?
I've seen a car with a sign on it. It's like you should have left your dog. You should have took your dog out the car. You know, and that thing is just. Like it just like people took a bat to it, stones. They tore that car up, man.
Yeah, they here, man.
Yeah,
I bet they'll learn today.
Yeah.
Right, man. Be careful out there, man. Shoot.
Yeah, man. Like the wind is hot out here. Like you don't even. It's so hot you don't even want the wind to blow because you just feel hot wind, which is the difference from Chicago because there's so much humidity in the air.
Right.
Like you get like it's a refreshing feeling to feel the wind on you, but you could be sweating, and then the heat is dry out here, so it'll blow just hot air, and it's like, man, it's unbearable, man.
I feel you, bro. I feel you, man. I mean, so like all those who live in Arizona, be careful out there.
Please. Stay hydrated.
For sure. But like, let's get into this interview. So, first question that we got for you: how did you get started in music?
In music?
Yeah.
Man, it feels like a layered question.
Okay.
I've always been interested in it. So, like, remember back in the 80s when having a journal was like the thing? They just talking about, hey, get a journal and write your day down.
I remember that. Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like that was the thing. So, that was an encouragement, right? So, I had thought about it, but then I started to really enjoy hip hop. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I fell in love with what that was. And then, Dr. Seuss and that thing too. So that was like like something that like I enjoyed, like the way he, put words together and stuff. So I'm like, man, I try to do that. Right. And that's how I started. I started writing that way as opposed to writing a journal. But it was like I wrote my thoughts and tried to rhyme it. Okay. That we talking about 5 years old. So like that's kind of how that went with that. But then I just fell in love with hip hop too. So I started just trying to do that. Then I wanted to learn an instrument, but I didn't have the money to keep something like that going. Right. Growing up. So, I started DJing. Because I'm like, well, if I can't create music, then I'll just manipulate it, so I fell in love that way. So I, growing up, hip hop and rap wasn't the most like encouraged thing. So I was kind of like, I had to kind of not kill it, but like put it in the back of my mind, Yeah. Then I just focused on other things because like all of my hobbies really focus on music. In terms of like my personal, like introverted hobbies, really focused on music, and all aspects of it, And so, but I was just particularly skilled when it comes to writing. Like, and I realized that at a young age, and I just kept developing it. So it's kind of like as I got older, I started realizing like my maturity made me see that, hey man, I can make music. I can make music in any genre I want to. It's just about, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I just, started picking it up again. I was like, man, I'm just going to make some music. Even if nobody ever hears it. I just wanted to do it as a hobby, and it started to benefit me. Then I started thinking like, man, I might as well just make an album then. So here I am putting that together.
That's what's up, bro.
So, you mentioned before, you mentioned that when you started out back in the 80s that hip hop was was an influence to you? Like, what was some of your influences specifically within the hip hop genre that kind of motivated you to kind of get into that box? Or
you mean like certain
artists, like certain artists in the 80s, because you had some iconic hip hop stars that came up through the 80s that everybody, you know, if you had a boombox or any radio on you, you was bumping their music or you was playing their music, and the influence of hip hop at that time, you know. Who was influencing you?
Now this may sound funny, but in the 80s, Run DMC, of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course.
Run DMC, LL Cool J.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
The Fat Boys.
Oh, okay. The Fat Boys. Okay.
Hey man, don't support Fat Boys.
Yeah, Biz Markie. Biz Markie.
Yeah. Oh, he was so dope, man.
Dougie Fresh, of course, because of the beatboxing. Because I used to love just everything about hip hop, man. Because I used to try to beatbox.
Right.
Yeah, I used to try to beatbox and everything, man. And then it's one more artist. Let me get this man's name.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing Dougie Fresh do a recent beatbox. He was on this is back on Jermaine Dupri's reality show, The Rap Game. It was an episode where they took the kids to a record shop, and Dougie Fresh was there. And when he was beatboxing, just demonstrating, man, I was like, this dude is so cold. Like, what can he not do? Like,
right.
Yeah.
What can he not make the sound so crisp that you are listening to an actual song, but it's all him doing that.
Like, it's crazy. Right. But then, like, I had the other two was Big Daddy Kane and Kool Moe Dee. Like, those are the ones that come to mind for my 80s.
That's what's
up,
bro.
I was 5 in 87, so like that was a key moment as far as like the artist then.
Okay. Okay, what's up? All right, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. So your stage name. How did you come up with the stage name? I mean, like, when I first heard your stage name, I thought it was just. I mean, it was definitely like a interesting stage name, and I know I've heard it somewhere before, but like, tell us, how did you come up with your stage name?
Which one? Vinny El Negro?
Negro, right.
Okay, because my official stage name is Vinny Vintage, like, because I'm an older guy, but I got like a new age feel of an old school style,
right?
You know, so but Vinny El Negro is just a play on words, man. Because one, you know, when it comes to my because I would like to think I have humility within me, because I reward, you know, I celebrate everybody else's talents before mine.
Right.
But like the boastful side, when you playing, you know, playfully playing around, when you're doing your little hip hop thing or whatever, I'm that dude. So Vinny El Negro.
But see, that's what
I'm that Negro. You know,
that's what hip hop and poetry is. It's really a play on words, but it's a space that allows you to be you. It lets you be you in a no judgment zone. And even if people were to critique you, it's your zone, it's your space, it's you being you. So if that's who you are, hey man, the name fits. You know, so I feel like that's
because I'm that dude. Yeah, I'm not saying anybody else isn't that dude, but I'm saying I am that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, but it's a play on words, because if you guys remember the basketball player Vinny Del Negro, the Italian guy.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
He was a coach he coached the Bulls for a couple years. He played, you know, I forget, he played for a lot of teams, but it's just a play on words, you know. My name is Vince.
Played for a couple other teams, but he wasn't the guy that he was like, oh man, he's gonna come again. He was the guy that was filling in the minutes to help star players get rest.
Yep.
That's who he was.
and try to tire the other players out because he was a rough physical player.
Exactly.
Right.
Good players, But yeah, it was just a play on words, because I love basketball too, so I always be trying to mix things in together. It's just a like a play on word.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, bro. So like, we spoke on poetry and hip hop. I mean, like, and like listening to you, I've listened to you like before, and you've infused poetry and hip hop together. So like, tell us like, how did you like? Tell us like the science behind like infusing, poetry and hip hop and coming with the style that you have now. I mean, like, like walk us through that process.
That's it, man. Y'all came prepared for these great questions, man.
As we do, man. It's the vibes, baby. It's the vibes, man.
Great. Hey, the vibe. This is the vibe for sure.
Hey, man. Pen game let the way with those questions, man. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just listening to him and then I'm feeding off of that. I just have my auxiliary question.
Okay, I got you. But they blend well. I can say that they help expound. But well, first came just the hip hop and the love for that. Then came the rhyming.
Okay.
So when I was younger, it was more about just doing that. I wasn't focused on the depth of writing. It was just hey, So but the way I grew up, I had to evolve it into poetry because this was a part of me now. Like, hey, rhyming is a part of me. So I had to evolve it into poetry. I had to take the rapping out and start doing poetry. So I tried doing spoken word and stuff. I actually got a song about this. Y'all hear it soon enough. Once I feel comfortable letting that out. But
that's what's up.
I tried doing spoken word, but I could do it. But it wasn't the most effective way for me to convey my message. Like I applaud people that can do spoken word. Like it's like people think you can just pick it up and do it. No, it's totally different. It's not the same thing as rapping. It's not. It's
definitely not. It's definitely not.
There's tones and inflections and speed processes, speeding up, slowing down, adding emotion in certain ways. Like you can't do that while you're rapping. And I could do it, but it wasn't the most effective way for me to get my message out. So now I'm stuck. Like I'm doing poetry, but I'm not necessarily doing spoken word. My poetry still is just rhythmic.
Right.
So as I went back into like writing lyrics, I was working so hard at being a poet that now it's ingrained in me. So now I brought the poetry back to the hip hop. So it's just like it was a natural blend. It was like an evolution. So I evolved in the one way and then evolved with that back to where I was at. And I brought all of the depth of writing back to hip hop. So that's where you get all of these crazy deep bars that I come up with.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Let me ask you something, Vinny. Do you feel like when you talk about poetry and hip hop, you mentioned about how, the inflections, the speeding up, slowing down, all that stuff. It made me think about punchlines, right? Sometimes a line won't hit right if you don't say it with the right amount of emphasis and inflection. Do you feel like that connects back to hip hop, where if you drop the bars, you want people to hear your bars, but you also want them to hear the thoughts that go with the bar, because a bar is derived by a thought in its own, where the play of words all combined. So do you feel like that's the connection of poetry and hip hop for you, or do you feel like it just varies depending on who it is that's trying to do the art in itself?
Yeah. So the way I look at it totally, writing is writing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like basketball. Like you playing basketball, but there's so many ways to play basketball.
Right, sure.
Like you can have a 3-point specialist, and then you got somebody that just catch alley-oops out there, DeAndre Jordans of the world. It's all basketball, but it's not the same. Like you still putting the ball in the rim, but and it's still the same components, but it's a different way of getting that ball in there, There's different skills involved, and they all play the same part, but there's just different emphasis and different things you have to utilize in certain ways for a different style. So it's like all of that stuff is combined for everyone, but some certain styles dictate more skill for a certain thing. So based off of what you want to focus on is what style you'll portray, you'll use, so, but you can also get better at something and bring it to another style to make that more effective as well, but it still won't be exactly that, So not getting too far away from the question.
No, you did. You answered it because you talked about the different things that people specialize in, and the way people play the game of basketball. You got some guys who are good with ball handling, and the way that they play is it's like they call it poetry in motion, kind of when they play the game.
Right.
And maybe that's something that I think that's what you do. You're doing poetry in motion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what that is.
Yeah, because I'm not. Yeah, because I'm not. You know how like some people dunk the ball. That could be considered a punchline, right? But some people can't dunk.
Yep.
So
they can just shoot.
Some people can shoot, but like when I played, I did it all. I could dunk. I wasn't the best shooter, but don't leave me open. I had handles like crazy. You remember what was going on back then, back in them hooping days, Craig? You remember what was going on?
Hey, I do remember, man. You know what? I wasn't the best player or the best shooter on my team, but I had my moments. When I got my buckets, I got my buckets. And if I start falling too early, you better guard, because I'm going to keep shooting till I miss.
No, I remember days, man. Honestly, I remember, bro.
It's fun, man. You try to get me to run it back right now, I might need a couple warm-up games. But
I'm done.
Hey man, look, I feel
knee injuries.
It's always fun, man. A good sweater too don't really hurt me, man. But no, man. Your craft is your craft, man, and how dedicated you are to your craft is going to start to show in the material you put out. That's how dedicated you are to your craft. So if you care about your craft so much, the music that you guys make. I mean, what was that? Was it Miss Call or something like that? That was one of your songs you guys dropped.
Yeah, that's one of the groups. Yeah, one of the groups.
Miss Call. That song was.
Shout to Ryan first.
First of all, let me just say real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I know Hershey was on that track too, right?
Facts.
She wrote the lyrics. Yeah.
Shout to Hershey.
Okay. That song is a perfect example of dedication to your craft. So now, since y'all put that out there, Vinny, I'm expecting more from you, man. And I'm expecting a lot more from you.
Hey, man, we on the track together.
Yes, we are, man. We are.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about y'all had.
Fabulous is the song.
Dope track, by the way. Dope track, by the way.
Well, I'm saying from the first side, I look forward to what you guys put together, because what you guys are combining are flavors of what all of you all do into a pot of gumbo. So it's like the people, they hearing you, they listening to you. So as long as they listening to you and they feeling you, you know what I'm saying, you got to keep coming with the heat.
Yeah. I ain't worried. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm coming with heat. I'm coming with the heat. I'm coming with the cold. I'm coming with the lukewarm. But it's all gonna be pleasant. Dude, I really plan on shocking the proverbial witness world when I drop this album, man, because I think it's gonna shock people, because people know me to be something different socially,
right?
Than like the depth of character that I actually possess, within myself. Like most people see me as a fun-loving, goofy social guy, but that's the aspect of my personality that you see when I'm out. But like I'm an onion when it comes to my character. Like, and most people have never had the time to peel that back to see who I really am. But this album, you're gonna see it then.
Okay, bro. We definitely looking forward to it. And as far as like Rival Verse, we got more coming. As a squad, we
Yeah,
got
we
more
do.
coming, man. You know what I'm saying? Like real quick, shout out to MDT Beats, Charlie Bravo, shout out to Corey, shout out to Hershey Sunday, shout out to Miss O'Neil. You know what I'm saying? Like we got more coming for y'all, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do.
Definitely, facts. You know, and I want to touch on this right quick. Like you spoke about, poetry and spoken word, and I remember being on an interview with Coco Whippery. Shout out to Coco, and we was talking about.
Coco knows.
Right. Coco knows. Coco knows. You know what I mean? We was talking about the difference between poetry and spoken word. You know what I mean? Like what you do is poetry, as you know what I mean, as far as like always like rhyming the next sentence. You know what I mean? Now combine that with the hip hop music. Do you find it a challenge to add that poetry element into your music, or do you find it not a challenge at all?
Yes. You know what? Okay, I find it a challenge, not in the sense that it's difficult, but in the sense of making it palatable.
Okay.
So it's easy for me to write it, but is somebody that hears it, are they gonna receive it the way that I would like them to? Because a lot of times it's like I'm not doing, even though I do have some turn up joints that I'm putting in this album. Like my focal point when I'm writing is because I just write about life, different aspects of, or my life, or being honest, being straightforward, being forthcoming, talking about, just things and stresses in life and stuff like that. Because a lot of times I write from a I would say a stressful like side of things. It's not always about happiness. It's more about like dealing with the stresses of life.
Right.
Or, insecurities, things of that nature. Because like I wrote to get things out my mind or off my mind. So usually sometimes my thought process is about like just the negative parts of life. Because that's what helped me balance out my mindset. But I mean, I could just write about anything, period. But I'm just writing about what my life is about. So, but I focus on entendres, word association, and those type of elements of writing. Because anybody can write, to, through, who, stew. Anybody can do that.
Simple Simon rhyming, right.
But can you like where's the complexity in your writing? Because I'm an entendre bandit, man. Like we do double entendres, triple entendres, quadruple sometimes. If I can figure it out. But that's what I love doing. And then piecing that all within the beat. Because unfortunately, the beat and having the rhyme only gives you a certain amount of time to construct this stuff. That's the difference between spoken word. Because spoken word, hey, you got all the time in the world to do whatever you want because there's no beat to it. You can structure it however you want to.
Exactly.
But you have to stay structured within a beat. So adding the poetry part to it, adding all of the depth to it, it creates a challenge there. But I've been doing it long enough to know how to navigate it properly.
That's what's up, bro. And like, me being a spoken word artist, I've definitely like heard other spoken word artists like on the track, and you can hear the difference. You know what I mean? It's like they got more room to like navigate on the track. You know what I mean? Like they're not worried about having to rhyme the next sentence. You know what I mean? It's like they just like free just to just to speak. But like with like poetry, sure, if you add a beat to it, you have a certain, amount of time to like rhyme a sentence, and then you got, it has to flow together, it has to be in unison with the beat. You know what I mean? But once I hear artists like you do it, it sounds crisp. You know what I mean? So it's like seeing poetry infused with hip hop and seeing, those type of artists coming out and just like giving us, their music, it's like definitely wonderful to see because, in music now we definitely need something different. You know what I mean? Definitely something different,
Yeah.
which is which is going to lead to my next question. You know, today we have artists, you know, that talk about, you know, like the usual, you know, drug selling, gunplay, sex, and you know, it's like always like the same story, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then you have artists like yourself, you're coming with a whole new, different type of avenue, a whole different type of, you know what I mean, like your own thing. So my next question to you is, do you find it challenging as an artist who doesn't curse or doesn't talk about the same things as the next rapper? Like, do you find that challenging, and how do you find the bravery to come out as yourself speaking about your truths or your story?
Well, I don't consider it a challenge because I've never done it. I've never been a person that cusses, you know. So like, you know, it's not a regular part of my vocabulary. Now, I'm not saying I don't think it sometimes. That's the most difficult thing, is not thinking of words. But I've never been one to just say them. Right. So it's not difficult in that aspect, because you know, you write how you talk.
Basically.
And that's the most simple. That's the simplest explanation I can give. You write how you speak or how you have conversation. So the words you have conversations with are the words you're going to use when you you know, putting a poem or a song together. But as far as blending it all together, like, you know, the acronym of rap is rhythm and poetry. So like from the beginning, it was supposed to be poetry within the rhythm. Right. So I try to bridge the gap for all of that. I'm a hip hop guy that MCs, I'm while I'm rapping, you know, but yeah, it's not difficult because that's the challenge I've accepted. Okay. And so I've done it, I've done it so long that I feel like I'm taking the easy way out if I was to be cussing. Like, that's easy to do that. That's simple. Now let's add some complexity to it by not doing that. You know?
I feel you.
I think it takes more. I think a person is more skillful when they can go and put out material without cursing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I know most people will clown this person, but Will Smith did it. Will Smith put out a platinum album where it's no cursing whatsoever. Yep. On Big Willie style, that album. Yep. He didn't curse in his music. But the thing about it is, like, you ask anybody in the world to do what we do and to do it without cursing, some people can't even get by 30 seconds without a word.
That's true.
But
they can't.
It's the way that dynamic works is so crazy, because what we asking them to do for us is simple. Everybody else, it's like, I don't know if I can do all that. That's like asking somebody who was a habitual smoker to just stop smoking on sight.
Yeah.
Well,
I can see that.
No trying to quit.
Right.
Just stop telling them to stop smoking.
Yeah.
The person's not gonna be able to do it. It's inevitable. They're going to smoke again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a bad analogy for this segment, but honestly, we get the idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for you and for you, Darius, you Pen Game, that's a skill. That's a skill, man.
You act like you ain't got it.
I know, right? I know, right?
I try to have it, man. That's the idea. I try to have it, man. But
you know what I mean? And
it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
And like you know, like it's an art form that I personally feel like we don't see too often. You know what I mean? It's like you see like little specks of it, but like you don't hear too often. Like I remember, like hearing, I don't hear too much from him, but I remember like hearing Rakim rap, and you can count on one hand how many times he cursed. And it's like this man, and he's like up there with Big Daddy Kane. So it's like this man can like like this man was like the Nas of his day. You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, Nas look up to him.
Me too. I should have mentioned him as well, but yeah, Rakim too.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, clean entertainment that we've been knowing and like we've been pushing. You know what I mean? Like it's an art form that that I really do hope is push more to the forefront, and I'm hoping that people love it. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like, and like what I was gonna say too is that I'm like, and like, it's like no shade to the artists that do curse. You know what I mean? Like I think Pusha T is a good artist. I think everybody in Griselda is a good artist. You know what I mean? But my life, my story is not theirs. You know what I mean? I can't I can't judge Push, Griselda, or anybody else on what they choose to rap about. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't there when they chose to do certain actions. So I can't I can't judge them. You know what I mean? Now I'm selective on what songs I listen to them. You know what I mean? But I don't judge them for what they talk about. No.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it was things that happen in their life that they feel like they want to rap about. You know what I'm saying? And like and like hip hop or rap gives such ones that freedom. You know what I mean? Now with us who chose to go a different route, I feel like you were saying before, Vince, that like we may be looked at as corny because we don't do it. But it's like I've been to so many events, spoken word poetry and music events that that our circle has thrown, and I have enjoyed myself listening to the entertainers that have came up with their art and just spit for us. And I'm telling you, like I've seen and I'm friends with some of the most amazing artists that I've ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so this can be done. This definitely can be done. And like I said before, like I really do. I mean, like my hope is to see this clean entertainment gets pushed further. Honestly,
Yeah, like a soldier always wearing fatigues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of the poetic redundancy. So I figured the audience will receive it wonderfully if something new and something different was to come from me. That's one of my bars in one of my songs.
Bars, baby, bars.
That's that double entendre stuff. Soldier always wearing fatigues. I'm tired of the poetic redundancy because we see the same thing. Just like a soldier wears fatigues and he always wears them. That's the only thing he got to put on.
Right.
The fatigue being tired. And we always see the same people rapping the same way and the same stuff.
Right.
I figured I'd do something different. I hope everybody, it's like
I got you.
That's what I mean by the depth of like writing, that I try to have. But yeah, you're right. Like we see the street story, gang story, crime story, story of sex, the story of drugs. Like how many times has that been repeated? Now people are creative and clever in how they talk about it, but like that's the same story for most rappers, but that ain't mine. So
and a lot of
let's do something different.
And a lot of rappers who did it, they were true storytellers, and they actually had colors to their story. Like to me, one of the best storytellers in the hip hop game to me. We didn't mention him, but Slick Rick was one.
Slick Rick. Most definitely. I forgot about Slick Rick, man.
Also, and then if you look at also Nas was a storyteller also.
Definitely.
Like there's a lot of different songs that I could name, which I won't on this interview, but we know that Nas was a storyteller alongside Slick Rick. These guys, they can paint pictures with their words, and you can follow along. It wasn't the basic blueprint to here's another drug story or here's another this or that. These guys also attacked areas of social injustices too. Nas did that. He attacked that.
I remember.
He definitely approached the game with something to talk about, and that's what's missing from the game today. I think a person who touches a little bit on these issues sometimes, but more on the street realm of it, is J. Cole. J. Cole does touch on certain things.
He definitely does.
He may not get in depth with it like they did, but he does tap into some of that. And Kendrick Lamar was a main person who tapped into stuff like this.
Right, definitely.
And that kind of music gives color. That kind of stuff gives color to hip hop as a genre, as opposed to the redundancy that you were talking about.
Yeah, but the funny part about it is all of the redundancy is necessary as well. But see, thing about it is like you got some people that only talk about turn up. But the older you get, the less you want to be in the club. So then you got the grown man rap. Like that's what I vibe off of with. So then there's avenues for every aspect of life that hip hop can provide you. You got so it's all about what you want to listen to. But I also like what I put together as far as music. There's room for that too, because there's an alternative to all of. Like sometimes you don't want to hear those messy words, or all of the cuss words, and all of the derogatory things of life. So like, if you want to hear some good hip hop, positive hip hop, in a way that's edited properly, hey, there's an avenue for that too. I don't know how many people fit that category, but I know I'm in it. You know.
Well, definitely. I mean, it's.
Sometimes
I mean,
you gotta dial it back sometimes to the '90s and stuff too, man. When you want to go that route, because you're not gonna get a lot of that with today's music. You just won't.
That's true. No, I mean, and it's like I said before that. I mean, like this. I mean, it's an avenue that I really do hope gets. You know what I mean, pushed to the forefront, man. You know that clean entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leading to my next question, you know, and we've been seeing this, you know, in the world of music. You know what I mean? It's been on, you know, like the internet and the world of social media about, you know, artists, you know, and contracts and like having, you know, like bad deals or good deals. So I want to ask you this from your perspective as an artist. You know, what's better for a up and coming artist? You know, to go the independent route or to be signed to a label?
It's according if you chasing money or not.
Okay.
Are you chasing money? Because if you're chasing money, the record label can get your name out there. They are the gatekeepers. Like you listen, the music that you hear it for a reason. And then you have some artists that are independent. They get popular because of word of mouth. And then the record labels get in touch with them because they realize they can make money off of them. But then you have some people, they'll do anything for that money. So you use the record labels as the influence because they have all of the ways to get features with people. This, that, and the third.
Right.
But me, you know, for me, independent is the best way for me because, man, if I signed on the dotted line, I'm going to have to do all of the stuff that everybody else is doing.
I got you.
And I ain't worried about no money like that. I know I got my publishing and stuff, but I ain't worried about money like that. I just don't want any of my intellectual property stolen or misused without me getting what's mine if something was to go big.
Right.
But
exactly.
like I can't operate within this world's way of doing things because I'm not trying to do what the world is doing. I'm just doing me for therapy. You know what I'm saying? And if anything becomes good because of it, then okay. But if not, I still was able to do something that I've always wanted to do, which is make an album and just make music.
That's what's up, man. And it's like when you hear about artists who are trying to get out of their like contracts because you know they feel like what the label doing isn't fair or like whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like, you know, with like some artists, they don't properly go over their contract. Now,
no, they don't.
Now, mind you, you know, they do have like some like, you know, certain phrases and certain words that like the average person may not get or like understand. But at the same time, I think it's like very important to like, you know, if you know someone who is, you know, who is knowledgeable in business and or, you know what I mean, I want to say, for lack of better words, lawyer language, I definitely advise you as an artist to seek out those ones so you can look over the contract to see if what you're getting is in your favor or is it fair to you? Because a lot of artists know they look at they get the contract, but they see that that money, and that's what draws them to like wanting to sign. But it's like they're not looking at the like over contract. Like I remember watching a interview with Nelly, and he was talking about him and the St. Lunatics. When they first started out, they signed a production deal, and because they didn't properly read that contract, they had a worse deal than TLC.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the problem.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as an artist, you have to be, and I think today more than ever that as an artist, you have to be not just an artist, but also a businessman.
Yeah.
For yourself.
But see, that's what the problem is too, because, hey, $300,000 right there, as soon as you sign, looks amazing to somebody that's never made $50,000 in any given year.
Agree.
We talking about, well, you know, that's instantly six figures. You're like, oh man, 50. Because, you know, a lot of times, I don't know if, you know, I remember growing up, you know, we grew up from Chicago, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first there's plateaus, man. First you want to get to that 30,000. Am I right?
True. Facts.
Then you want to get to that 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then you want to get to that 60 and so forth.
Right.
Then you everybody's trying to achieve that $100,000 with working the least amount of hours that you possibly can in a year. Like, that's just like these certain goals that everybody wants to achieve financially.
Right.
So imagine somebody that's young, for one, ain't never seen $50,000 a year.
Right.
Likes Jordans, and then they get a contract and say $300,000. Now it's like, hey man, I want that money. I don't even care about reading the rest of this. I just want,
exactly right.
And then they find out that money don't even really mean nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Nope.
That's a long.
The New Edition story.
I seen that.
Yeah.
I seen that. Yeah. I was man. I saw that. Yup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Break production.
Yeah.
That
money is
good example. Good example. Good example.
Money is inexhaustible, right? And then all of a sudden, when they start tallying up how much all this other stuff costs, studio time, traveling, this, that, and the third, you was losing before you started winning.
Exactly. No.
Special effects.
Right. Special effects, all that. You know what I mean? But
fireworks.
Fireworks, right. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you think about the artists who choose to go independently, now, not saying that's an easy road. You know what I mean? The difference between being signed and being independent is like, you are definitely going to have to put the work in. You are going to have to be the machine.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And you have to put the background work, and you're going to have to depend on people in a sense of just your fans or supporters. And that's a difficult thing to do too, especially when you have the mindset of a lot of people that don't dream. A lot of times with people that don't dream, their mentality, they want you to have their mentality instead of the other way around. So they gonna basically like just down your dream.
Exactly.
Just because they don't dream. And then what happens is a lot of people only start supporting you when they see enough people support you.
Exactly. Yep.
Not realizing that if you just support me from the jump, then you will be part of the pool of people that will support me. So it's like, right. That's the independent thing is difficult in that aspect, because it's like, man, hey, how come I can't be as dope as Jay-Z? Like, just because you know me. It's possible. I might actually be that dope.
Exactly, right.
But just because you know me, it's impossible for me to be that dope, because Jay-Z is a figurehead that is so monumental in the game that it's nobody I know that could ever have that talent. But what if I do?
Exactly.
Why can't you just support?
Exactly. And And no, man, like everything that we talked about, man, it's just like always leading into my next question, and it's just, you know what I mean, like, and it's just like flowing. You know what I mean, like, and like one thing that I wanted to mention before my next question is that, you know, like being an independent artist, I mean, you know, like I said before, like you are definitely going to have to put in that work, and also, you know, networking is a big part of it. You know what I mean? Like I can't stress how important networking is. You know what I mean? Like, you knowing,
but you can actually listen to it without feeling any type of bad, because there's nothing bad involved with what I'm doing. You know, so like it's an alternative for the same quality, the same stuff, but with the content that you really want to hear, and you really.
you know what I mean? And I think a lot of times some people may not support the next person is because of that reason that I had just mentioned, because they may feel like, okay, well, this person is like better than me, and I don't want to, like, you know, put, you know, light on him, because that's going to, like, you know, mess up what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's to me that way. I support, and I, you know, post, you know what I mean, like some of my friends' projects they got going on, and like, you know, then it's, and like I'll feel no way about it. You know what I mean? It's like we said before in the beginning of the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, give folks their flowers while they're here. And I feel like some artists, or some people, like in general, may be a little bit insecure about, you know, being next to somebody who they may feel like is like better than them, and, you know, there's no support coming from that side.
Yeah, but you know what? So sometimes, man, like there's flaws that we inherently have because we're imperfect. You know, sometimes some people's personal flaws get in the way of that sometimes. Because, you know, some people just have some jealousy or envy in them. And it's not even a situation where you can be mad at them. It's just, hey, that's just who they are. That's just their particular vice or flaw that they have. Like, and there's no control to them. Like, they don't choose to be that way. They just are that way. And so, I mean, that's just something that you got to navigate, you know? Now, me personally, man, I want everybody to display their talent. I've always tried to create avenues for people to do that, even when they come to my DJing. Now, honestly speaking, there's been times that I've erred in the way that I handle things. But for the most part, man, if I'm putting an event together or whatever, it's for us, not for me. It's for us to have a lane to enjoy ourselves safely and with the people that we enjoy and love. So it's like everybody can have a part of that success, especially if you do the same thing I'm doing.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's like I'm never against somebody, like, straightforward. I do love competition though. Like that's where that edge in competition is what makes me want to be better. Externally, like internally, I want to be better, but externally, it's like, oh, okay, hey, that was good. Now watch this, you know. And I don't decide if it's better or bad. I just want it to be just as impressive, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, and, you know, this is like one of the reasons why that, you know, me and my two fellow co-hosts, you know, we've created this podcast, is because we want, you know, our fellow artists, our fellow artists to, like, you know, come through and to display their talent. You know what I mean? Whether it's on a podcast or on our social media pages, you know what I mean? Our business, PVE, Poet Vibez Entertainment, that's what we do. We want, you know, artists to, like, come in and just, you know what I mean, and just, you know, do a thing. You know what I mean? If, like, you may like somebody that I bring on this platform, that's that's fine. I'm not gonna sit there. I mean, me personally, I'm not gonna sit here and, like, pout. And I'm pretty confident that my two co-hosts are gonna not do the same. You know what I mean? Like, we let folks come in here and display their skills, because, you know, we need an avenue for. We need more avenues for people who do poetry and or spoken word. No, I mean it's a I want to say it's like a almost an untapped market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's you know what I mean, and it's like we need more stuff like this. You know what I mean? So like and
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, it's like we aspire you know what I mean, poets to like come through, send us their work, we'll post it. You know what I mean? Like because we're for artists expressing themselves. We're for that clean entertainment, like we said before. You know what I mean? So like, you know, we definitely you know, in action support new artists. Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all know me, man. I'm Mr. All Inclusive. But I'm also Mr. Nobody wants any smoke, but I hope they do, you know. Because the reason I always be telling people they don't want no smoke is because I want them to actually say they do,
Right.
so that both people are challenged to like procure something that is dope, because all it does is sharpen iron.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
You know, so like if I was to ever bring a challenge to somebody, it wouldn't be because of anything other than just like, man, I need something to motivate me to challenge myself.
Exactly.
And I hope that people respect my pen enough to do their due diligence to write something dope as well. Because
exactly,
they know
bro.
I'm putting something together. Like, so if you accept the challenge, you better come with something, because
that's a fact, though. That's a fact. I mean, that's like if
you'll be washed over with this deluge of bars,
bruh,
man. So like, come prepared, you know.
Bruh, exactly. I mean, like say like with us though, right? Riotverse, right? And like, let's say, and I'm hoping we do this one day. That like we all like in the studio all together, right? And like, let's say like one of the producers, like you know, like they got a song for like me, you, and Hershey, right? I'm hoping, you know, because I know what you do, V. Like, we want to give them bars. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna show you why my name is Pen Game for a reason.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So me and you, we're gonna be train bars back and right, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm so poetic as well.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hey. I seen what so poetic can do. And that man's talent is not to be slept on, period. I seen what my man Big Fly can do. This man makes good albums.
There's a piece that I was going to do for a show next month. I'm not going to it due to circumstances, but once this record button stops, I'm gonna drop a snippet to it. I'm gonna drop a snippet right on Zoom, right here on Zoom before we adjourn, folks. But that I'm telling you, it's the pen never stopped, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, even with the stuff I do with regards to my son, I don't stop with the writing, man. That's where I live at. That's my home. That's where I'm at.
Hey, do you even write anymore? Because like the stuff you've done when you just recorded, like this just was a challenge or something with a word, and you just be in your car just going off the top. It's like, do you even need to write?
I feel like I don't. To me, it's you give me a subject and I run. And but for me, when it came down to the pieces that you see me post of my son that I even wrote about, or visuals like what I actually asked when I recorded, that was written. For me, I just feel like when it comes down to certain things,
there's a seriousness.
I like for it to be more organized because at certain points I want to bring out, But other than that, I mean, I'll just go in with a subject and that's it. And of course, I'll play it back if I record it. I'm gonna play it back so that I hear what I'm saying, so I can recite it again if I had to.
No, I get what you're saying.
Right.
But you do have a skill of being able to like vocalize and create something on the spot, like from nothing. Now, I'm not saying I don't have that skill. It's not as developed as yours, but I've been freestyling my whole life. It ain't as developed as yours, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to this pen,
I don't consider myself developed like that. I don't.
I mean, well, you don't have to.
I sit and listen to folks freestyle all day when I was in high school, man.
Yeah.
I just sat and listened and marveled at folks, man, because it was just like they could do it like it was nothing. Like it was just nothing.
But that's the freestyling part. But I'm talking about the way you've blended that freestyling and spoken word in a way that I would never be able to do that. Like I freestyle decently, but no, that's not what my strength is. My strength is putting these words together on paper and conveying them in a way where it's like there's depth, there's straight up layers, it's layers within layers in the bar. You know, that's where my skill lies, because I focus hard on doing it. I want it to be a situation where somebody can hear a song I make and 5 years later finally catch something else in there. Then they thought they caught everything, but nah, it's a couple more gems up in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you be like, man, hold on, wait. Go back to that part where he was saying that's what it sounded like you put out, that commentary. Like, wait, hold on. What did you say? Like that, it's that thought-provoking verbiage where you're like, what?
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Wait, no, go back. That's skill right there, man. That's you gonna make a home right there, man. If you haven't already, you gonna make one right there.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be interesting when this album gets dropped. I don't know how many people is gonna hear it, because I'm singing on it too.
That's what's up.
So that's another thing. That's another thing that people.
The more you talk about it, the more people will anticipate.
Yeah,
that word of mouth, man, it's crazy. I mean, look at what and he probably gonna hate me for mentioning his name. I'm gonna put it out anyway. Look at what Glenn Kimball's doing with his cover 4 concert that he's doing.
Shout out to Glenn. Shout out to Glenn, man.
The word of mouth
he's putting
out,
so dope,
the platform he's using. The platform he's using and how much he's getting it out there. The man has done 3 cover concerts already that were all amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's already built that base of support.
Exactly.
But just the word of mouth that he's getting out there, man, it's almost as if he's never done it before. That's how hard he's pushing.
Right.
But see, that's what's going to happen when we know about it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him, man. It's gonna be a great concert, man. I would like to be there, but the way things are lining up is kind of running me ragged right now. So, I know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be off the chain. You know what I'm saying? Just like I know when you drop this album, Vinny, it's gonna be well anticipated, man. But for sure, we can't wait to see what masterpiece you put together.
Most definitely.
I like the word masterpiece. I just hope it makes sense for everybody, because I got some doozies, man. I'm gonna let y'all hear some stuff, man. Like once we get off air, if we stay on Zoom, I'll let y'all hear a couple songs. I know they gonna hit close to home. Y'all can be a good gauge of if I got something there or not.
We got you, bro. We definitely.
Well, an open mind is always gonna be a good place for you to play that kind of music to be well received. You have to be open minded, man, and that's where you can allow yourself to hear someone else's craft and dial into it. You know what I'm saying? So, sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely, man. And before we head out, man, let us know, the title of your album and when's it dropping?
Man, I've been trying to figure out what the title is gonna be for the longest, but I finally do have a concept in mind. Mm-hmm. It's just gonna be just my me growing up. So I got songs about when I was young, things that happened when I was a younger man, like a boy or a child, and things that happened as I was a young man, things that happened as I was a married man, and things that I talk about just being a grown man.
Gotcha.
So it's just a progress through my life. I got songs about, so people will get to know a good amount of who I am at all stages and who I am now. Because like I said, most people, I wonder what most people will say about me if they really if like somebody's like, man, what do you think about Vince? Like mostly I think people just think, man, he's just a cool, laid back, fun loving guy. Like, don't take things too seriously. He just likes to enjoy himself and enjoy the people around him. But like, that's just the external personality
here. You know what I'm saying? So, those who follow me, support your boy on Instagram, Penny Poems, PJG. My first ever poetry album, man. Words from my notebook dropping next month on the 12th. Alright?
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, and shout out to all of the other people that are finally having enough courage to show their talents when it comes to writing. Because it seems like the quarantine has just allowed people to get into their craft or their hobbies because they were almost just basically forced to do it. And now it's just something that they continue to do because it keeps them balanced. So like, shout out to everybody that's doing that. There's so many dope artists out here. And
absolutely, I agree.
It's finally time for people to see it.
Finally time, man. About that time. Yep. It's about
sure.
that time. Like Nas said, the time is now. Alright? The time is now. You know what I mean? But like, thank you for everybody for like joining in on our podcast, Vibez at the Table Podcast. And we'll check out next time. Remember to follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Keep supporting us. Keep participating in our poetry, our poem challenge every weekend. We take random words and we make poems out of it. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who's been participating in that. And once again, shout out to all the poets that have been supporting us. Everybody in general who has been supporting us, all right? This is the Vibez at the Table podcast, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Peace. Recording stopped.